As if you didn't have enough tough decisions already, deciding what PoE 2 build to play can get overwhelming. And let's be honest, to pick from so many choices, like movement on hyper steroids to Armageddon like fire magic, it's easy to lose track. That's why I dove into countless guides and videos to bring you a simple list and introduction of builds to try out for yourself. The meta is always evolving though, but today we are highlighting the most ridiculously fun and OP builds that are dominating right now. Whether you're a brand new or seasoned player of PoE 2, this guide is something for you. Let me show you what I stole from the darkest corners of the internet, so you don't have to. And with that I mean Reddit threads so cursed I don't want to go back there. First I have to mention that I didn't test every build myself, because, let's face it, sleep is important. But I've gathered the best information I could find from different sources you can look up in the description below. Also, this is no ranking as per winners and losers. Instead, it's a collection of the most OP and fun builds based on community feedback and my research. Fun is subjective, however, and what's OP for me might be different for you. So I try to cover a mix of both the communities and my opinion. Remember that PoE 2 offers almost endless build possibilities. So if I missed your favorite playstyle, or you already tweaked an upcoming one, drop it in the comments below and show us your insights. And just on a quick note, if you don't agree with my opinion, please feel free to share your thoughts too. Feedback is always important, and this video was made to inform people, so I invite all of you to do so. Please remember to stay cool though. We are all just gamers trying to have some fun here. If you're looking for a specific class, you can find chapters for your convenience. If you need a deeper dive into these builds, just crack open the description, filled with guides and deep dives for their respective builds. Let's start with the Monk, a fast-paced melee class that specializes in dexterity and intelligence to deliver swift and potent attacks. He branches into two ascendancies, Invoker, master of elemental forces, inflicting ailments and enhancing his elemental skills, and the Acolyte of Chayula, who delves into the darkness, sacrificing his spirit to boost both offense and defense. First, let's look at the Ice Strike Instant Zero build, a frost-based playstyle that instantly freezes and shatters all living beings in its range. This build is all about delivering high one-hit burst damage while immobilizing tankier foes, making it perfect for clearing content efficiently while being satisfying to watch. But if ice isn't your cup of tea, how about some lightning? The Flicker Monk is for all those who always wanted to be a Saiyajin. High velocity and high damage all over the place. As if you are on cocaine, you zip through enemies like a lightning strike, only leaving dust and destruction behind. It is so fast paced in fact, you might get dizzy trying to keep up with your character. Here you create absolute chaos while making it nearly impossible for enemies to retaliate. And if that feels a little too chaotic for you, don't worry. Because the Stormwave Monk is definitely an electrifying alternative. This build centers around the Stormwave skill, unleashing massive lightning attacks with high critical strike potential and huge AoE damage. You will blast through huge packs of mobs and boss encounters alike, blending explosive power with fast-paced gameplay. Blending explosive power with fast-paced gameplay. These three builds are very entertaining to watch, with Flicker Monk being my personal favorite. I'm very intrigued by its movement heavy and dynamic playstyle, so I will likely give it a shot in the near future. Next up we have the Sorceress, the embodiment of magical power with a focus on intelligence. She delivers devastating elemental and arcane spells to obliterate her enemies from a distance. When choosing her ascendancy, you have the option to choose the Chronomancer, a mage who controls the flow of time, slowing enemies and gaining temporary advantages, or the Stormweaver, master of elemental magic who harnesses lightning and fire for example, to shock or incinerate anything in her path. Staying with the lightning theme, here you can try Sparkweaver, a massive AoE build chipping down every mob on the map. These little bolts of light pass through enemies and bounce off terrain, going for round 2. You can also combine this spell with the skill Flame Wall, to slam some fire attributes on top of it. But should fire magic be of more interest to you, here's the Armageddon Weaver. What this name, you ask? Well, this ridiculous build just melts down the whole room and activates so much dopamine in your system, you never want to play something else. Your first impact splits the projectiles into uncountable numbers and also bounces off walls, making this a literal nuke against everything in its path. If I would recommend a sorcerer's build, it's definitely this one. Let us dive into our second melee class, the Warrior. As a true walking gym membership, he represents a raw and resilient melee fighter, who excels in close-range combat. What a joke. By using strength, he increases his survivability and enhances his damage output. The ascendancies are the Titan, who goes for slow but powerful attacks such as big slams, and the Warbringer, who synergizes with totems and war cries, changing up the playstyle in regards of his counterpart. The Breacher is all a warrior wants to do. You charge in, break some kneecaps along the way, while using your momentum to slam the ground in good old AoE fashion. This build is the embodiment of masculinity, basically dripping down testosterone with every charge. If you're looking for the warrior, this one is for you. The counterpart to him, however, is the Shouting Man, a weird as fuck build that embraces your cries for help because you started as a warrior. He uses so-called war cries that buff your character, or, like in this example, even deal damage. Here you just shout at your enemies, and they start to understand your frustration, bringing them to suffer mental damage until they simply snap out of exhaustion. All these frustrating moments of regret finally get paid back at least. If I'm being honest, this one looks so much fun, I would consider trying it on my warrior. Yeah, warrior. Going back to ranged classes, up next is the Witch. Typically known for dark magic and potion brewing, a witch in PoE 2 dominates through necromancy and elemental spells. She has the options of either the Infernalist path, embracing the infernal flames and summoning creatures from down under, or the Blood Mage, trading her life essence in for power beyond measure. Witches you saw probably ran around with dozens of minions, face-tanking mobs like her diehard groupies. The following build, however, transforms you into a demonic flame god you always dreamed of. The Demon Witch combines the crazy amount of projectiles you previously saw from the sorceress with a damage-accelerating demon form. But if this isn't enough, she transforms her vicinity into a soaring flame bath with occasional flamethrower and solar flare action. If you're a fan of the other side of heaven, this build is made for you. The last two classes use medieval ranged weapons to pierce through their foes. If this is something you are interested in, then look out for the Ranger, that uses bow and arrow to strike through her enemies. She can specialize into the Deadeye, mastering the use of a tool to get every medieval YouTuber to shiver before her. Should you be more interested in different kinds of utility though, the Pathfinder Ascendancy utilizes poison for example, making her a difficult foe to withstand. Speaking of which, here are two poison-based builds I like to call Warcrime and the Grey. As the name Warcrime suggests, this utter insanity utilizes poison gas to instantly obliterate any mob in its area of effect. The Grey, however, uses the poison in a crueler way, by properly leaving its victims unaliving themselves in agony. These two builds seem insanely fun to play, and I will definitely lean into one of them with my ranger I'm currently leveling. It'll probably be Warcrime. Last but not least, we have the Mercenary. His signature weapon is the crossbow, which utilizes different ammo types and attachments to bring out all of its potential. He ascends either into a witch hunter, who specializes in passively giving him better overall fight potential through offense, defense and utility empowerment, or the Gemling Legionnaire, a gem collector that lets you equip more skills and boost the quality and power of them. One possible way of playing him is the Grenadier. Specializing in grenades, he fills your screen with explosions that not only obliterates normal mobs, but also blasts bosses away in mere seconds. And to wrap this whole thing up, let's end it with a literal battle. The Railgunner doesn't only sound interesting, it also looks cool as fuck. With a laser that somehow comes out of a crossbow, you chunk bosses down to 20% HP and finish them off with your lightning gatling. A truly magnificent piece of build art and a solid contender on this list. This pretty much wraps it up, and it's only the beginning. Like I said, there's still a lot more builds out there that are either insanely good or still have to be discovered. We are still in early access. I just had to highlight some that look so ridiculous I would want to play them myself. I'm thinking about Flickermonk, Warcrime and the Railgun the most. I hope you found something to try out for yourself too. You know where to let me know. Anyways, this video took quite long to finish up and I'm kinda terribly sorry about that, but yeah, it is what it is, I guess. I'm gonna pick up the pace with future videos now. So, if you like this video, consider dropping a like, and if you want more PoE 2 or gaming content in general, drop a sub to stay up to date. Anyways, the next video will be a joke type .exe video about the whole RuneScape ad drama. Stay tuned. See ya.